Welcome back to Calling the Audible. This is Iggy Magnets. It is week 3. Again, part 2 of week 3. Don't forget of this week's show. As we have now concluded week 3 of FPF, winter season 2024, and we are now headed into week 4 starting Saturday, January 27th. Of course, the biggest improvement here, got a professional microphone, so apparently I sound much better. Heard myself a little bit. It does definitely sound much better. So the quality of the show, let's say, is going to be improving in the coming weeks, as we know the struggles of the audio from week 1 have already much improved here into week 3. So on today's show, we are going to be covering, again, all the divisions that Mo didn't get to on the Tuesday episode, which airs on Wednesday. So that means tonight we're going to be covering Divisions 1, 2, Division 6, and the co-ed trio, co-ed 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to be starting tonight with co-ed 3 with Zachary Alberts Gill, not Albert Gills as Mo likes to call him. We are going to then move on to co-ed 1 and co-ed 2, get Laurie's thoughts on those two divisions as they carry now on into week number 4. We're going to have Raph Morelli, our writer for Division 1 and 2. We're going to be talking Division 2 with him. We're going to bring back Dan Lazara, get his thoughts on Division 1, everything that went down in week 3. And we'll wrap up the show with Division 6 and Brent Bodkin, your article writer for Division 6. So a jam-packed show here, a lot of action and a lot of highlights to go through. So we're going to get started, like I said, with co-ed 3, but just some highlights first about some news and notes. The highlights of the news and notes for the league as we enter, like I said, week 4. So picture week. Of course, we're still taking your team pictures if you have not had one. Even if you thought your scorekeeper took one, if another scorekeeper asks you, hey, look, I've been asked to take your team picture, and you think, last week we got one, what happened? We got one taken last week. Very likely that it came out blurry or just got lost in translation somewhere. So just be kind to your scorekeepers. Take the 15 seconds that it takes to set up and take your better team picture, or if it's not already your first. The uniform rule, of course, Mo went over it in depth, but if you see in your stats that or in your game score that your stats are not there, it's one of two things. It's because either you were not wearing the same color jersey as your teammates, or you were wearing an illegal number, something that was not up to snuff, so to speak. So that means your number was either taped or markered on, or your color of your jersey was not the same as your teammates. So remember, if you want the game played, if you want the stats, you definitely need a proper jersey, as the uniform protocol is in full effect. Of course, Leo here is going to be policing your uniforms and letting your scorekeepers know. All right, Leo, time to get down. New thing here was new for some of you. Injuries. All right, so FPF does have an injury reserve rule. And that rule is actually can be split into 2 different categories. So if you have an injury or someone injured on your team, and it is a serious injury, serious enough that you have a doctor's note, okay? And you will be playing later on in the season and want to make sure that you have enough games played to be playoff eligible, but maybe you're only going to be coming back on the fields as of week 8 or week 9 or game 8 and game 9 of your regular season. If you are injured now, submit the medical form, the doctor's note, to FPF's contact page, so the email info@flagplusfootball.com. You can get your games played for the again, the doctor's note should have a timeline of how long you would be out for. So for all those games that you would be missing from your team's schedule, we can get you those games played so that when you are ready to come back onto the field, that you would have already 5 or 6 games played under your profile, so that when you're playing in game 8, 9, and 10 of your regular season, which would only be 3 that you actually physically showed up and played for, you actually have 7 or 8 games played on your resume. So that would make you playoff eligible. That's the first part of the injury rule. The second part of the injury rule is if you played during the season, you played 5, 6, 7 games, maybe even less than that, right? 3 or 4. If you get injured during the season, it's possible, and again, serious injury where you have a doctor medical note, serious enough to sideline you, you can transfer the 3, 4, 5, 6 games played, whatever the number is. You can transfer those games played to another player, okay, so that they could be playoff eligible in your place. So again, all those IR rules are in the rules and roster documents that are available on the Flag Plus website. So I just brought those up just because already it's possible to get your games played if you are injured now, or if that comes up later on during the season where one of your teammates gets injured. There is a protocol in place for that. Again, another quick update here: the roster verification tool. Please use that if you are bringing in 1 or 2 subs onto your team to make sure that you are cap compliant, both in terms of the team cap and the quarterback cap. So always use that tool. It's a nifty one just to save you the administrative hassle of a forfeit. And then again, our flag belts, the old white ones, $5 in very, very limited supply. The new green camo ones, those go for $10. So go see your scorekeeper if you're still missing, or if you have a sub, a new player coming to join your team for that game. All right, enough of the announcements. I see we have lined up here. So Nightingale, if you can check him in very soon. We do have Zachary Alberts-Gill here going to talk Co-Ed 3 with us. Zach, welcome to the show.
Howdy doody. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Oh, you got me? Ooh, boy.
You okay there?
We're good. I'm never sure. My headphones always suck.
Yeah, I can hear you just enough. I'm not sure if you hear me and the sound of my audio is better than what you've heard from. There you go. Perfect. I got the A-OK from Zach. So, Zach, again, welcome to the show. Just to start off, Zach, what are some of your general impressions? Has anything stood out to you in Co-Ed 3? I know I'm going a little off script here, but I just wanted to just get your sense of Co-Ed 3. Is anything standing out to you in particular?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm just finishing up, or hopefully finishing up tonight, the Co-Ed 3 article, and I was just actually looking at just the disparity, the difference of number of games played. You've got a bunch of teams with 3 games played, you got a couple of teams with 1 game played, and you got to keep talking about these bye weeks coming up in weird weeks and in weird segments, and just kind of like, yeah, block party, and at least we tried, are undefeated in 2-3 games, but like, who's to say Agredu and Bandit can't also be undefeated at 3 games, but we're not going to know for like 4 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, definitely the schedule a little strange for some teams, that are feeling a little rusty. I'm definitely a victim of that. I play on 4 teams, and I didn't play a single game in week 2, and only played 1 or 2 games in week 3. So definitely feeling that side of it, the teams that are not getting enough reps. But Zach, you bring up block party. And I'm curious, are you surprised that they are sitting at 3-0 right now?
Yeah, to be honest, a little bit. I think I didn't have them winning the first couple of games they did. Now I'm kind of bought in, but I'm kind of shocked that they're the top undefeated team of this division. I think when I faced them the first time last 2 seasons ago or whatever, they went 0-10. So to see them now, like, living it up, it's awesome.
So, looking at their schedule as we bring it up here, you see their first loss coming. So if we scroll down, they have
Oh, they're
Flamingos
beating
next,
Flamingos.
Eclipse, and Agridu.
Listen, we were just talking about, I was just saying Hagvidu, I played them in our first game. They put up a
Uh huh.
lot of points. They got a really good QB. I like him. He's a runner. He's going to make me work for it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But really, I'm thinking, I looked at the wrong page. Really, I'm looking their first loss maybe coming in at Eclipse. And if they
Okay.
don't, I think they're going to win until they hit Michael Scott's tots because, I got to vote on my team when I have the chance. But yeah, I think if they don't lose against Eclipse, I'm not sure that Agadu is going to be able to stop them. I think they have too big of a break right now.
Okay. So you're looking at a late February, early March, before they suffer their first defeat. Um, and next thing here, Zach, as you know, you brought up your team here, Michael Scott's thoughts. You played Thunder Villains this past week. What were your impressions of Thunder Villains in general, and then your impressions of Terry Babylon, Terry Babylon, quarterback of Thunder Villains, as you were rushing him down? What were your thoughts on them?
Definitely a wicked team. They're the team that I thought was going to make it one of the undefeated teams. I think they are lost one early on, but that's whatever. But yeah, super awesome. Jeremy Thompson O'Reilly can go up there, hang out. He puts up the numbers. Terry Babelis, I spoke to him a little bit before the match, and I'm like, yo, man, I'm seeing in other divisions that you're running a little bit. I'm seeing 20 yards here, 40 yards here. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Do I got to worry about something? And he goes, no, I'm actually planning on getting the ball out in 2 seconds. So don't worry about anything. And he did every single time. I think he ran for a first down once. I think I accidentally let him go. Or if not, like, the point being is he puts up 200 plus yards a game. He's going to win them all, right? He's averaging 4 or 5 touchdowns. It's hard to stop him.
So how far do you think this villains team can go? This Thunder Villains team can go, right? Are they a make the playoffs, an early round exit team? Can they, go 2 or 3 rounds deep and not make it to the finals? Or is this a team that you can see going to the finals? Where do you see them finishing?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I played against them, I think, last spring in co-ed, and then I faced some version of Terry Babelis, I think, in the Fall Cup. Listen, they're a good team. I think they're definitely making it to the playoffs. They've got Petite Vites, Dream Killers, Perfect Strangers, Flamingos. Like, I don't see them. I see them losing one, maybe two more games. They got crazy good, ladies that have depth to their squad. You got Roxanne Roy, Isabelle Poirier. Like, I don't see them losing much. And if they can keep the steam and not, lose to an unfortunate roster of last year, like, I think they can go all the way.
Okay, you think they can go all the way? You think they can win it all, or they're going to the final? What's the
They're going
prediction
to
here?
the finals. I don't like some of these teams surprise me. I think they'll make it to the finals, but I really don't know. I think I have a top three, but I don't know who exactly is going to be the top final two. Like, at least we tried. If
Well,
we could see,
we
at
we
least we
need to
tried
hear the
Thunder
top
Villain.
three.
Well, listen, I think at least we tried Thunder Villains. Like, definitely contenders to being top two. I'd like to see a rematch of those sorts again, like we saw it early on in the season. I think to see it again would be awesome. If Block Party keeps going undefeated, I absolutely vote them as the dark horse to just come out and beat everybody. So for me, it's really seeing how long until they lose. But if they don't, I think they're sweeping the playoffs. And then I think I'd give the
Okay,
second
all
to.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
All
hearing
right.
a
Cool.
delay. That's why. That's
Um,
why.
yeah, there's a bit of a delay, but all good. And I'm picking up on something else, but all good here, Zach. So Zach, as we know, in co-ed, and you mentioned it that the Thunder Villains have a great set of female players. What usually distinguishes teams, and more than ever now, with the 3 male, 3 females on the field, that females play a huge role on the team's success. So, who are some, and then name one of the best female players out there in Co-ed 3 in your eyes?
Yeah, so I've been scrolling through. Obviously, I read the articles, and I said when I was talking to Mo earlier this week, people sometimes just become numbers as I scroll through them because I'm not good with names. But a few of them,
You know what we're feeling now. Yep.
yeah, man. But a few of them obviously pop out at me. Like I'm thinking, first off, Naomi Fortin on Dream Killers QB. Like she is hanging up there, is putting up 400 plus yards in 3 games, almost hitting the double digits of touchdowns. Like, yeah, it might not be the completion percentage most people would like to see, but I like that she's up there and she's competing. Like that's dangerous. I'm not gonna try to butcher her last name by accident, but Rekka from Block Party, or is the E after the A? Is I'm so sorry to butcher names. This is why you're all numbers. I'm sorry, but she's awesome on offense. I see her pop up on defense every once in a while. Like she's good. She's good. She's a great staple. I like it a lot. And then I think there was a rusher I'd seen the other day, but like I told Mo, I'm really terrible with names. There was I do know this one, Alexia Roy. Alexia Roy, because I was looking at Show Me Your TDs, and I was like, how are you guys at 100 points allowed, but you have a rusher that's put up 5 sacks? Like this is awesome.
Yeah. I was actually the scorekeeper for her first game. I believe she collected 3 or 4 sacks, and I'm like, my God, have you ever played? And when do you want to sign with the Kiss My franchise? Because definitely Alexia Roy, definitely one of the names, one of the newer faces in FPF that's getting some early season shine here.
Yeah.
So Zach, I definitely love the Alexia Roy, the Rekka. I'm gonna go for it. I'm not that scared. Rekka 7. Oh no, I already screwed it up. So never mind. I'm dropping it right there. Siva. Yeah, no. I went for it again, but I'm just gonna drop it.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely I'm a fan of the names you shot out there. Zach, we're gonna go and do. I'm not sure why Mo's doing his own thing. I'm doing my own thing. I'm gonna be keeping the tradition of games of the week. So as we bring up the schedule here, and of course I do a certain thing that's that the cast is not friendly to, but we're gonna do games of the week just for Co-ed 3 with you, Zachary Albertsgill. So here we are in week 4. Our first matchup, we got Agridu versus Half and Half.
Yeah, oh my goodness. I want to do the underdog special and give it to Half and Half after I think they found a QB. Like I think coming out is going to be pretty good.
Okay. You got Michael Scott's thoughts against Show Me Your TDs.
I would abstain, but because you asked me so politely, I'm obviously going to pick my team.
Okay. All right. That's Saturday at 9 o'clock. You got Flamingos versus Block Party.
Ooh, give me the Block Party, man. They're on a roll.
All right. Block Party going 4-0. Next, Perfect Strangers versus Bandit.
I think I've been underestimating Bandit. I can't get a beat on either of them, so I'll take them to win this one. And
yeah, I would go with that too. That's a good one. And then last game here for Co-ed 3 in week 4, we got Le Petit Vite against Thunder Villains.
Definitely, that was the crack of lightning and thunder. We're going Thunder Villains after they whooped us. If you're gonna get beat by the best,
all right,
you gotta
Thunder
vote for
Villains.
The best.
All right, sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Zachary Albertsgill with his games of the week. Zach, thank you very much for joining us on the show. We do have Lori Willette lined up here. She'll be talking Co-ed 1, Co-ed 2 with us. But once again, thank you very much, Zachary Albertsgill. All right, Yep. So Zach, thanks again for coming on here. We do have Lori Willette lined up with us. She's waiting on hold in the FPF portal here. She'll be talking co-ed 1 and co-ed 2 with us. Gonna get her thoughts on some of the better offenses in the in co-ed 2, and then what's more surprising to her, whether she thinks that the Team Rocket at sitting at 3-0 is more surprising than Team Meow Meow sitting winless at 0-2. I believe we have here Lori Willette with us, joining us. Thank you and hello.
Hi, Iggy.
Hello, Lori. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, and you?
I am good as well. How is the audio sound on your end versus some previous weeks here? Is it sounding a little better?
I'm hearing perfectly fine. Are you hearing me good?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm just wondering if it's better on your end in terms of our audio.
Okay, no, it's good on my end. Yes.
Okay. I think Ali Reza, we're getting a bit of a long delay. I'm not sure if that is something you can look at. But we're going to be in conversation as we are here with Lori Willette. Lori, we're going to jump right in. We're going to go into straight ahead into co-ed 2. And as you know, a lot of FPF games are won with better offenses, better quarterbacks. So there are two teams right now that have 100 or more points for, and that's Y&Y and Balls Deep. Balls Deep, again, we spoke about this last week. It's a team that you faced and we're going to be facing in your first game of the week. So tell me, Lori, who has the better offense? Is it Y&Y or Balls Deep?
It's a pretty difficult question because both teams are good, but if I have to compare both, I think Y and Y currently have a better offense. I think they're putting a lot more points on the scoreboard up to now. And see, I've seen Balls Deep in the previous season, and I've seen how their offense is executing. And I think right now, Y and Y has an advantage. They're well executing on offense, and they're doing really well. So I think Y and Y up to now, it's them.
All right, so and is it any particular reason? Do you think maybe that their quarterback play is superior to Balls Deep? Because Balls Deep have some very dangerous athletes, as you've noticed when they have the ball in their hands. Nathan Tran, I believe, is one of the names that comes to mind. They're very dangerous, very shifty, as you saw when you played against Balls Deep. So is it the quarterback play, or is it overall the team scheme and the depth of Y&Y? What is it exactly?
I think it's because Balls Deep, his quarterback, he's hesitating a little bit more. So I think he's trying to buy more time, and his offense is a bit scrambling more for now. So I think that's the reason why I'm going with Y and Y, which I think they have good players, and Team Maya is catching a lot of balls and she's doing well. So I think that's the main reason. There's a long delay.
Yeah, it's coming in and out. It's a little choppy, but but I did hear there that Maya, definitely one of the leading receivers on the team. She's definitely part of much of their success that they've seen so far. Lori, we'll move on to get your thoughts about what's more surprising to you right now, whether it's the 3-0 start of Team Rocket, led by Guillaume Bellin at quarterback, or whether you feel that Team Meow Meow is underachieving at 0-2. What's caught your attention more?
I'm more surprised at Team Meow Meow. I was expecting them to execute better, I think. And the way Maxime Giroux was talking about their team, they seem like an excellent team, like with a lot of good receivers, and they have Tam also. So I think I was expecting more from them. I'm not surprised about Team Rocket because they have excellent players. They have Clara Baudouin, which is a absolute stud. She's doing amazing. She should get the ball more often though, because I've seen her play and she's really good. So no, Meow Meow is I'm really surprised by their losses.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think with Team Rocket, they've seen an upgrade in terms of quarterback, just in terms of Guillaume Bellin's ability to have played so much, especially at higher level competition. Right, once you get a sense of playing with different quarterbacks and very high end quarterbacks, listen to what they're calling in the huddle, and then just having a good sense of the game overall. That's an upgrade over their quarterback situation last year. And then, like you mentioned, I think they might have one of the best female cast of characters out there on the field with, like you said, Clara Baudouin, I believe Guillaume Bellin's sister. Marilou Bellin, again, also on the team. Definitely, their female content is some of the best out there in co-ed 2. That's for sure. We'll move on to co-ed 1, Lori, and I want to preview a game that interests me. Maybe it interests you as well, and that's Easy Fun going up against the IG team. The IG team, slow start to the season in terms of the number of games they played. They had their first game just last week, ending in a tie. I believe it was against Party Mix. So.
Yeah.
Their 0-1 IG team is, and Easy Fun, we spoke a little bit about them last week. They finally got their first victory to avoid going 0-3 by beating Zero Sub. So how do you see this one going down? What are the key matchups here? Is Easy Fun going to go 1-3, or is IG team going to pick up their first victory of the season?
I really think it's gonna go. It's gonna be the girls. The girls are gonna be a key. It's gonna be key for them to throw to them and for them to make plays, because they both have awesome plays. The IG team has Constance Miller, and Easy Fun has a couple girls also that make some good plays. So it's really up to the QBs to throw to their women. And I know IG team hasn't been using their women a lot in the past few seasons. So it's really hard for me to choose, but I think Easy Fun, in terms of using their women, they use them more. So I think Easy Fun might have a chance of getting their first win of the season.
Yeah, so that would actually be their second win, right? Because they just got their first win over Zero Sub this past week. But yes, so you think there that IG team need to do a better job of getting their females getting them the ball. Definitely, Constance Milan is a threat defensively, that's for sure. So you don't think that IG team is going to get their first victory just yet? And then just to wrap it up here before we get to your games of the week, when I'm looking at the quarterback situation in co-ed 1, I look at the top two pairings right now are Jeremy White and Francois Delorier of Party Mix. So, Laurie, who do you think between those two is going to end up with the most pass starts? Then with the most touchdowns at the end of the year? Is it going to be both go to Jeremy White, both go to Francois? Are they going to split them, or is maybe there a third candidate out there that's going to lead in yards and touchdowns?
It's a very difficult question because both QBs are amazing and they have amazing receivers that can make some plays. So, and they have similar stats up to now. They have both 14 touchdowns and a couple yardage difference. But at the end of the season, I believe François Delorier is going to have the more yards and Jeremy the more touchdowns. So they're going to separate it.
Yeah. And is there a reason? Because I tend to agree with you, but is there something in particular, maybe in Jeremy White or Francois Delorier's game, that's going to give him the edge, Francois Delorier, that is, in terms of the passing yards?
Well, I think Jeremy White for the touchdowns, he's gonna have more because he has, I'd say, JC Ferland and another of his key male players, and they've been playing with Jeremy White for a while now, and so they have a chemistry of a QB receiver connection. So I think they're able to make touchdowns on the long run and make more plays. I think in terms of the yardage for François Delaurier, he's able to distribute the ball, and his players they make some plays also. But yeah, that would be
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree with you there, and I think the key difference for me is that Jeremy White will pick up the yards by running the ball and through some rushing yards.
Yeah.
So if you actually look, they actually do have the same number of total yards. Francois Delaurier has more passing yards, but Jeremy White has about 90 rushing yards. So they actually do compare. I do think Jeremy White will end up with more. Passing touchdowns, like you say, and Francois Delaurier with more passing yards. But definitely, it's going to be interesting because even Maud Lacasse with 10 touchdowns after 2 games is another interesting name out there.
Yeah.
And of course, you have Jeans Lee, Christopher Verreau, myself, and Dom Lefort all only having played 1 game. So definitely a long season ahead of us. But between those two, I think you're right. So Laurie, as we did last week, we're gonna do it once again. We're gonna do our game picks, games of the week, with you, Laurie Willette here as we kick start week 4 this coming Saturday. So as we just bring up the schedule here, week 4 we got a lot more games. We'll start with Co-Ed 2, Laurie. We have the IG Team 2 against Tigres. Who's your winner there?
Tigres.
All right, who's going to carry the boats against Team Rocket?
Team Rocket once again.
Okay, 4-0 Team Rocket. You then have Canicule against Balls Deep.
I believe Balls Deep is gonna have it this week.
Okay, you then have your team Pass Whippin' playing against McNuggies.
I can't choose since it's my team.
You can't pick it. Come on, you got it. When in doubt, pick McDonald's. Right? Pick McDonald's.
Yeah.
You got to go with the McNuggets.
I love that.
Next, a lot of Monday night games here. To wrap it up on Monday night, we got Ball Hard University against Kiss My Christmas Balls, an ex-team of yours.
Yes, I actually believe Kiss My Christmas Ball is gonna have it.
Okay, we got Bal Profond against Y&Y.
Y&Y again. I think they could put lots of points on the scoreboard.
And then to wrap up Co-Ed 2, we have Powerpuff Girls against Lords of the Field.
Lords of the Field once again.
Okay, then we'll move over to Co-Ed 1. Kickstarting week where it's Easy Fun versus the IG team, the game we just previewed. Who's your winner?
Easy Fun.
All right, Easy Fun for the win. Next game, we got Zero Sub against Les Porcinettes.
I think Les Porcinettes. They have good players on offense.
Okay, so Zero Sub, Sarah Parker suffering their second defeat, according to Laurie Willette here. And then to wrap up Co-Ed 1, Les Petits Fuck will face off against Kiss My End Zone.
Kiss My End Zone. Yeah, some great players this season, so yeah.
Should definitely be a fun battle, as we spoke about Les Petits Fuck last week. The great ball distribution and the ever dangerous Dom Lefort on the run. Laurie Willette, thank you for the game picks. Thank you for sharing your thoughts here on Calling the Audible. Do you have any last words for any shout outs that you have for anyone out there in the FPF world?
Not a shout out, but make sure to stay tuned on Instagram FPF page because there's a lot more content coming up.
Okay, awesome. Because maybe just wrap up your segment. Maybe talking a little bit about that. Sounds like you're involved a bit more with the Instagram page and Instagram content. Share us a little bit. Talk a little bit about that with us.
Yes, of course. I'm helping Chris Rivet film some content, some quick reels. I helped film with for the female female reel last weekend, and apparently a lot of you guys liked it. So there's a lot more of that coming up. We're gonna do different things this season and more like quick and easy videos that you guys will like. So for sure, stay up to that and look forward to those videos.
Okay, awesome. Great job with the Instagram content. Lori Willette, thank you, and good luck with your article this week.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Thanks. That was Lori Willette talking Co-Ed 1, talking Co-Ed 2, and of course, that's it. Our IG content has been, if you've been noticing, it's a lot more engaging, a lot more content that we're throwing out there. Of course, we have our whole media team is really involved. Whether it's James Dandria with his pictures that he's snagging at the fields, whether it's Chris Rivet, Laurie Willette, I believe Jonathan Shea, Manuel Laroy, they're all part of that CRIV, Chris CRV Media platform, and they're obviously grabbing a lot of highlights. We saw Noah Smallwood make a ridiculous tipped catch, unfortunately called out of bounds, and I'm gonna just segue or sidestep here for about 30 seconds, and it's about those missed calls, right? Obviously, I'm a player on the field too. You never want to see, a call go against you, but it's just the nature of the beast. Unfortunately, reffing is all about sight lines and angles and being in the right spot. Sometimes it's very clear from a camera angle that it's clearly a touchdown, and obviously you want the referees to get and of course the referees want to get the calls right all the time, but just because we have a particular angle where it's pretty clear and obvious that he's inbounds, it doesn't mean that same clear angle and shot is the sight line that the referee has on the opposite side of the field, right? So you have to always keep that in context. And, and again, as much as it sucks, as much as it pains us as players to have points taken off the board, trust me, it's happened against me. You have to be, in control of your emotions. And at the end of the day, we are playing, flag football game, a game for kids. But obviously, we love the game. We want to get the calls right as much as possible. So just my 30-second, 1 minute rant about that. Again. Okay, all right. So we're just getting wind here that Division 2, I'll have to go solo for it as last second Rafa Morelli got a little bit tied up. Thank you, Nightingale, for just letting me know there. So again, we're going to go monologue style for Division 2. So here, looking at Division 2, I was looking at the standings and looking at Run It Once. I happened to catch their game on Saturday because again we do have afternoon shifts, 12 to 3 afternoon games in the Loyola Dome on Saturday. Very cold Loyola Dome, by the way, very chilly. So suit up and dress up warmly if you are playing at the Loyola Dome. Run It Once, they're now sitting at 2-1 atop of Division number 2. Only a +2 point differential, 87 points for, 85 points against. But this team, I'm not sure where to rank them, today in week 3. Why do I say that? Very impressive wins to start 2-0. And they got themselves, I believe it was to a 20-0 lead over Terror Squad on Saturday. And, game was all in control by Run It Once and Jeff Rosenblatt. Terror Squad, 3 drives, 3 interceptions from Tam Villadath. Manuel Laroy, taking 2 of those picks and taking 2 of those possessions away from Terror Squad. Run It Once had this game in the bag. They were in control. They couldn't be stopped. The defense was stopping everything that Tam and Terror Squad were throwing their way. And they just sort of played down to their competition, or it was either that or a mix of that and not grabbing and seizing, the moment of that game to really drive home a 4th and 5th and 6th score down their throats. Whatever it was, maybe it was the afternoon, I don't know. they just didn't take control of that game. And man, if you don't do that, you teams in Division 2 are going to smell blood, just like Terror Squad did with AJ Gomes and his one-handed grab for that extra point for 2, which in the end, that was the difference in the game, is what was those converts and the one from AJ there. Man, it's just run it once. You're doing great. You have the ability to become a 1, 2, maybe 3 seed. And you just I think they learned their lesson here with Terror Squad, and it's obviously better that a game like this happen in week 3 of the season than for it to happen in the round 1 of the playoffs, right? So hopefully lesson learned for Run It Once and the Jeff Rosenblatt crew. Of course, Sanders Armand, you had a chance to win it on that Hail Mary. I thought you had it in your hands. In fact, you did have the ball in your hands, and then somewhere along the way, the ball was dropped. And come on, Sanders, you know you're my guy, but you got to come up with that clutch play like I've seen you come up with in the past. So definitely Run It Once, a team to watch out for. Hopefully they can secure 3 possession leads and turn those into victories. I was also looking at the division standings here, and I see a lot of teams here at 1-1. Notably, the Stoics, Terror Squad, and #NR. And I'm curious about these teams. I'm curious, who can distinguish themselves above the rest. And while Terror Squad, I kind of want to say, I was impressed with the comeback against Run It Once. Man, they have struggled off, out of the gates here. Tam Villadeth, with the weapons and the roster around him, it's not looking great so far. He's thrown more picks, I believe, than touchdowns, and that's not a recipe for success. The Stoics, they had again, that's one of the teams they beat was Terror Squad to start 1-0. They lost their highly anticipated matchup, according to Chris Rive. He was very much looking forward to playing Silent Ticklers, a team that took them out in the Division 3 playoffs last year. Wanted to see how his team stacks against the Silent Ticklers. And while the first drive for the Stoics ended in a pick by Dan Mancini, the Stoics were in that game. Despite the early turnover, Chris Rive was right there. There was one particular and key play, and Chris will admit it as well. He admitted it on the Saturday, was Tony Vo missing a critical sack on 4th down. It would have been a turnover on downs with the ball, with almost within red zone, striking distance of red zone for the Stoics. Instead, Jordan Panetta is able to escape the rush of Tony Vo, able to hit Dan Mancini, about 12 yards downfield. A couple missed flags later, Mancini's gone down the pipe, and what would have been a turnover on downs, again, setting up the Stoics for a red zone opportunity to come back in the game and make it, probably a 1-point or tie game, turns into a 13-point swing for Dan Mancini as he entered the end zone, found the end zone. So definitely, it's one play that can make all the difference. So can that one play hurt the Stoics? Probably not. I think that team is going to come out strong. And #NR, they're very high risk, high reward. Adam Sinagra now throwing the ball for #NR with a 4 touchdown, yes, but 4 interception performance. So of those 3, give me the Stoics. I'm hearing from Nightingale that Rafael Morelli is actually on with us. Raf, are you there? No, so we're having a little technical difficulty with Raf. If he is on the line, we will get Raf Morelli's perspective on Division 2. But just as we get that wrinkled out, we'll move on to topics here. And I was gonna ask Raf, and if we can get Raf on the air here with us, we'll get his perspective on new quarterbacks that are throwing in Division Two. Nightingale, do we have an update with Raf Morelli here? All right, some audio problems. Not a problem. Not a problem. So we're going new quarterbacks that are throwing in Division Two. So for the first time, so Division Two, wild craziness. If you're a quarterback, that is, to be wanting to throw in this division, definitely no one's a first-time quarterback, but there are some first-time Division II quarterbacks here. So I'm thinking the Quade Johnsons, the Chris Rives, the Ben McMahons of the world. So I was going to get Raf's perspective, but I guess I'll ask it for myself, that if there's a game situation where your team is down 6 points, and you need five. There are 5 plays remaining in the game. Which of the between Quay Johnson, Chris Rive, and Ben McMahon would you want driving your team, needing the 6 points and needing the extra point, 1 or 2, but needing either of them for the victory? And I like what Quade's done. Throwing in Division 2 and Division 3. He's going to get a lot of experience throwing on 2 teams where defenses are become much more aggressive than, say, Division 4. But I just think that Chris Rive and Ben McMahon have been playing the position longer. They've accumulated more experience under their belts, a lot more FPF pedigree, and defenses. They've seen a lot more defensive schemes is what I'm trying to get at. And so between those two, though, I think I would go with Chris Rive. In whether it's games of the weeks that Eagle has presented to me or, writing division articles, I've always picked against. I've noticed in my own picks, I pick against Chris Rive. And every time I pick against Chris Rive, he comes out victorious, and there's something different about that C-Riv playoff, that playoff quarterback that comes out in him. Look, he's twitchy with the ball. He makes rushers twitch, and sometimes it's that half a second twitch that you make a DB, turn their hips or turn their shoulders and lean in to try and make a play on the ball. That he'll get you. And I've noticed he's incorporated the run, and obviously between him and Ben McMahon, the better of the runners is no doubt Ben McMahon. Chris would admit that himself. But Chris Rive's become a very methodical, patient, and twitchy, let's say, quarterback where give him even 3 to 4 plays. And I'd give the odds of scoring a touchdown with 3 plays, maybe 65%. With 4 plays, let's go 80 to 85. But with 5 plays, I'm going with like a 95% chance that Chris Rive is going to win that game for you. And then he's, if scoring a touchdown will tie you the game in this scenario, Chris Rive's extra point for 1, very solid, great play caller for extra point 1 convert plays. So give me Chris Rive for some of the newer Division 2 quarterbacks making the jump. I would definitely give Chris Rive the nod and the ball to my offense if I needed a score late in the game. So since we don't have Raf Morelli on with us, I'll bring up the games of the week myself. Will get the matchups set for week 4. My thoughts on them as skill B's playing against the very Quay Johnson and Dirty Birds Plus. I really love what Dirty Birds Plus have been doing. They're on a heater as of late. Quay Johnson's throwing a lot more touchdowns than interceptions than games 1 and early weeks of the season. Give me Dirty Birds Plus against Skilled Bees. Got Mangoose against Poseidon's Kiss. This one, super interesting matchup. I believe these two teams played each other in the Division C playoffs. Poseidon's Kiss obviously going all the way. I'm going to go PK with this one. Just getting one. I'm going to go with like a 3-point victory for Poseidon's Kiss. We then have Bless Up playing 2.5 Dans, 2HD. 2HD, always a tricky team, but Stephen Haraprasad has this team rolling. Give me Bless Up in that one. And then wrapping up Division 2 for the week, you got the cap-friendly Braves playing against Ambush. This one too, it's a tricky one. Ambush got the better of the cap-friendly Braves last year, but that was with James Drysdale not there, I believe, in that game. I'm going to go cap-friendly Braves with this one, but I really like what Ambush can do. I think they can go toe-to-toe offensively against cap-friendly Braves, but I just think the CFB defense is just going to get one more stop than what the Ambush defense can get. So give me the CFB cap-friendly Braves in that one. So that being said, that wraps up our Division 2 coverage. We're going to see if Nightingale can get our contact Dan Lazara here a little early, as we were gonna have Dan Lazara join us for Division 1 coverage at around 8:15. Of course, now it is 7:52, so a little early. Nightingale making the calls, producing from the sidelines, as it were. Hopefully, we can get Dan Lazara here a little early, as unfortunately, Raf Morelli did join us. I did see him appearing. We just had some audio and technical difficulties on his end. I appreciate the effort from Raf, as I believe he is driving, was in the Laurentians or somewhere up north, and maybe heading his way back down to Montreal for Week 4, as Week 4 kickstarts Saturday, January 27th. We're already approaching the end of February, the end of January, beginning of February, of course, as we have the Super Bowl looming closer. The Pro Bowl is next week for those who care. Me and some of the guys actually in the FPF League, Marvin Steinberg, Félix Boutet, Lucas Quinville, Charles Vero, will actually, just a quick shout out to us, because why not? It's my podcast here with no guest currently on. We're actually going to an NFL flag tournament in Orlando. They gave us also some tickets to see the Pro Bowl. Yay. Gab Charles, Dab Champagne, also part of the team as well. Alex Blais, another nod to them. So that's a team that we're going to be traveling to Orlando, playing in an NFL flag tournament. Maybe sees another one or two FPF teams. I don't think so. I didn't see the complete list just yet, but definitely the Pro Bowl coming up, Super Bowl coming up. The Super Bowl, of course, is where a lot of FPF games are not played on the Sunday. Though, note for scheduling here, Saturday, the games will take place. And even our Sunday afternoon games, 12 to 3, are still on. And our 3 to 6 shift in Laval will be shortened to 3 to 5. So definitely there are going to be some games during the Super Bowl, as I bought enough time here to shift over to Division 1, as we do have Dan Lazara lined up here, ready to go. Dan, welcome to the show. As maybe he doesn't hear me, Ali Reza, you're going to have to... Yeah, perfect. Not a problem. So as we as we get down here in the waiting room, we're going to be talking with Dan Lazare about the week that was in Division 1. We had a great matchup between Flagmoilsac and we had Dan Lazare's thoughts on Guillaume Paquette, where he ranks and where Dan Lazare thinks he ranks in terms of the better receivers in Division 1, as well as a two-way player. We'll get Dan Lazare's thoughts there. And then we'll get a little breakdown of Fred Dupuis and his party crashers as they took a loss to the All-Stars. Dan Lazare, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, Mr. Iggy. I appreciate you. And we had a jam-packed week of FPF and Division 1 filled with outstanding performances, a.k.a. Mr. Guillaume Paquette. Not one, not two, not three, not four, 5. We got 5 touchdowns. Wow, I'm here to talk about it. Let's do it. Let's jump right in.
All right, let's jump right in to that Flagmoilsac Braves game. It was a really tight, really interesting game here, Dan, and I want your thoughts. But let's set up for the viewers here who didn't catch it, kind of the context for that game. So, Braves were up in the second half by 2 possessions on 2 different occasions. With you look at the score line at the end and you see Flagmoilsac come away with a 1-point victory. You must think, oh, well, obviously they converted on their onside. Not the case. Down 6 points. Flagmoilsac go for the onside after their first touchdown of the second half to make it a 6-point gap and go for the onside there. They miss it, but then late in the game, get a touchdown, get an interception from Sam Nadeau-Pius off Joe Mayer, and then get a late score with a 1-point convert to take the 49-48 edge. So, Dan Lazare, talk to us about, your thoughts on that game. Talk to us about maybe the strategy of going for the onside so early in the second half. Would you have, gone for it that early? Would you have waited another drive or two, or was that the right move?
So, this game had a lot of roller coaster of emotions throughout the entire game. I do believe that it was more of a thought like, how did the Braves blow this game? You know what I mean? Like you said, like you mentioned, they had
For
2
sure.
times that they had a 2-possession lead, a 2-score lead on them, and you think that the ultimate Braves, they're going to close that series up for you know what I mean? But that late pick by Joe, oh my goodness, that just turned the tides completely. But what's even crazier, I wish I was at this game because honestly, the fact that they came down, drove down the field after that pick, scored a touchdown, tie game, last play of the game, though there's actually one more play they missed, the Hail Mary, but they got that extra point needed to win this game, man. Like, incredible, And shout out to my boy Isaiah Allard, like I saw that the one possession that they got that stop on flag 1, he got that sack. He's going to make sure that he gets that defense on track to get where they want to be, in this league, in this division, sorry. So I really think that, honestly speaking, it was very, very shocking to see the Braves blow this game, but kudos to Flagmois. They didn't give up on this game. Even going for the onside kick early, I kind of like the gutsiness out of it. I personally would have liked to let my defense play out of it, maybe a bit more, see if I really need that onside kick later on. But kudos to them. They got rid of it right away. They wanted to see where their head was at. Let's see the mentality that we got to go, whether we're going to get it, whether we're not going to get it. Do we play more aggressive on defense? They made all these adjustments early on and forced Joe Mayer to make that pick. The rest is history, man. What a performance. I can't believe it. Guillaume Paquet, 5 touchdowns. This guy is incredible. I've heard about him throughout so many years. Last 2 seasons, I've been playing against him. This guy has burners, man. You would think that he's done with UDM and he's done playing flag. I mean, he's done playing tackle football. Forget it. This guy probably wakes up and runs track every morning. It doesn't make sense how he's just burning guys in FPF, guys that have been playing it doesn't make sense, Iggy, So kudos to them. Honestly, we see that Alex, we were talking about it last week, how he was injured. We weren't sure if he was going to be back. He comes back with an outstanding performance yet again, puts his team on his back. Right now, they have the best wide receiver core in the league. They're 1-2 bunch between Sam and Guillaume is just at the top of the chain when it comes to touchdowns on the season. So Flagmois is a dangerous team, man. They're up and coming, and they're super dangerous. They're ready to play.
Oh, Absolutely, definitely. And just a clarification, our sources here and FPF Studios did notice that Alex Nadeau-Pius did throw in that game against the Jamesons. They did actually limit him to 3 touchdowns. So the Jameson defense, just to give them a shout out from last week, definitely did a number on Flagg-Malsac. But as you were saying, Guillaume Paquette, what an incredible performance. 10 receptions on 10 targets, 114 yards, 5 TDs, just put in a whooping on the Braves. So that's the question naturally comes down is where does this guy rank as an offensive wide receiver and as a two-way player? Are we talking about like a top 3 player in FPF here?
I mean, at this point, how can you argue elsewhere? Like, he's putting up the numbers to provide it. It's been a couple of seasons now that he's showing up and showing out. I just think that there's some really good talent out there in FPF. I know I'm going to continue mentioning my boy AJ. He's there up there. You know what I mean? You got a lot of great receivers.
But and because it was, but Party Crashers and Fred Dupree 3 interceptions in that game, and Kevin Wyeth didn't throw a single one. So what do you make of this game here? What does it say more about Party Crashers? What does it tell you about All Stars? Are they vulnerable? Is it their season for someone to take a chink out of their armor? What are your thoughts on this game?
So I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I'm going to give you my both perspectives. Okay. First, Party Crashers. Yes, he did throw 3 picks, Fred, but it just goes to show how high-powered that offense could actually be. You got Ezekiel, you got Emil, you got a couple of them studs on this team, and the fact that they were able to get those amount of turnovers and still keep it a one-possession game says a lot about the way their team played. They're hungry guys, and it just goes to show you take away those 3 picks, they probably win the game because Kevin White went clean. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, yeah.
But playing devil's advocate over here, my friend. Kevin White is Kevin White. He's going to do what Kevin White does. And that means that, yes, there might be chaos going on, but there's bend but don't break with this all-star team. They're very, very consistent on what they do. Keyshawn even came back and he got a pick 6 on these guys. Good for him.
Yeah,
he's still showing out. It's been a couple of seasons he's on and off the roster, but he's the Ray Lewis of that defense. Let me tell you something. He brings that energy for them. He's making sure everyone's juiced up and ready to go. You want that energy on the flag football field. But just to say, like when it came time to close out the game, Pat Jerome first down. Wave that white flag, it's game over. You know what I mean? So, yes, it came close, but the All-Stars, bend but don't break mentality, they got away with the win. I'm not really worried about the All-Stars. They probably thought the game was in their hands after those 3 interceptions. They probably played a bit slacked off laziness sort of thing. But when push comes to shove, they locked in. They did what they needed to do, and they got the win.
And then, Dan, sorry to do this to you. Maybe we're going to go a little off script, but was there anything that off the top of your head, something that, a storyline that's developing, or maybe, we saw the outstanding performance of Guillaume Paquette, 5 touchdowns. So we already mentioned that. Is there something that, that's catching your attention? Is there a team, you mentioned Royaume Luminaire last week as a team to watch out for in Division 1. Do you have any other Tony Romo-like predictions for us here, or something that caught your eye?
So I'm glad you asked that, and I appreciate you going off script asking this question, because I don't mind it at all. I actually do have another team. My friend, I promise you, this Jameson team is dangerous, okay? They're coming in. They're making sure that they have all the athletes from position 1 to position 5 on defense, and Jeff Rosenblatt is slinging it out there. They're a tough team to beat. Everyone is sleeping on this team, but don't get me wrong, that defense is legit. I had a conversation with my friend James O'Hain on that team, and he was telling me he thinks it's the best team that he's ever played on in D1. Kind of hurt my heart a bit. I play with you, James, but it's fine. Don't worry. Nothing personal. It's cool. Don't worry about it. I won't slash your tires or anything. Don't worry about that. However, that says a lot. A lot of talent.
Don't go into specifics, Dan. No specifics.
No, but honestly, you got the silent ticklers coming together and getting those 2 interceptions needed on defense. Daniel Mancini and Jordan Panetta last weekend. They're going to make sure that they're on point every single game on defense, and their communication is great. I mean, there's a lot of good athletes, but there's a lot of team players on that team. So I'm pretty sure that defense is meshing really well, and it's coming together, and it's nice to see, because if there's one thing I know about the Jamesons, it's the fact that if you give Jeff that comfortable defense that he needs, and he's going to get that one stop early or whatever, can make it tough on the other team, he's getting that confidence. He's going to be like, oh, shit, we could still do this, boys. Let's go out. Let's rally. Like, even if it's against Kevin White, even if it's against the Braves, this guy's going to make sure that, like, if he's comfortable out there, he's a dangerous man. So watch out for this Jameson's team. Honestly, they're going to be impressive down the road. And shout out to beating the Maroons, like I predicted. I told you, this Jameson team, I can't stress it enough, man. They're filled with firepower from top to bottom.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Sorry,
there.
one more thing. Shout out Breezewell.
Go.
4 touchdowns. My man. I see that. This guy's going off. He's a stud also in this league. When I mentioned the top receivers, definitely forgot to mention his name. He's one of the up-and-coming superstars in this league. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely agree with you there. And like you said with the defense, that game against the Maroons was back and forth. Maybe not a barn burner shootout, putting up 60 points on each side, but each team was going score for score. And you're right, that Jordan Panetta, apparently a one-handed pick or something along those lines, back of the end zone, or toe tap back of the end zone, as described by Manu Alaroy. Definitely that defense. And you're right, when you give a quarterback like Jeff Rosenblatt, it gives him that extra confidence, and the mindset is no longer Jeff Rosenblatt against Kevin Wyeth. It's Kevin Wyeth against my defense, and my defense, like you said, when it's that good, and that's where the confidence stems from, and it translates to an even better offense. So Jameson's sitting at 2-0, number 1 seed right now in Division 1. Definitely agree with you there, Dan. Dan, we're gonna end this segment here as we did last week with our games of the week. Of course, Week 4 starting on Saturday. The first games for Division 1 Week 4, we have Royaume Luminaire against Party Crashers. Who you got?
So Party Crashers coming off a tough loss versus Kevin White, of course. I do think that they'll be coming out with some energy in order to bounce back. There's going to be a lot of chirping in this game, I have a feeling. But I do believe that Justice Bree is going to come out victorious in this game. Give me Royal Luminaire.
Okay, I like it. Second game of 3 here. We have Blessed against All-Stars. Can Stephen Haraprasad pull off the upset?
So I want to go with this upset. I really do, because I do feel like I feel like the All-Stars, they're at this point where they kind of have this, like, we know we're better than you attitude, and I like it because it's confidence, you know what I mean? But they do play, like, very off. I'm going to be intrigued to see how they are, because I know that Harpsaw loves to throw his 1-yard hooks and make his receivers dance, which I love that a lot. So we're going to see how it plays out. If they're going to play tight, then he's going to hit you with his double move. I'm really intrigued to see how it's going to go. But at the end of the day, I don't believe that they have enough firepower to stop Kevin. And it's going to be the convert game, I think, in this game. I don't think they're going to be much sauce, but I do believe it's going to come down to the converts. Give me the All-Stars on the edge on this one.
All right, and then wrapping up Division 1, we got the ATH squad facing off against Flagmoilsac.
Oh, I mean, this ATH squad, I do believe that they could cause some damage just because of the fact that if Gentsley starts running around and making plays, it's going to cause some problems to them. And they do have the athletes to compete with Flagmois. So it's going to be tighter than people expect. But I do believe that Flagmois is just so in sync right now that they're able to, like 10 for 10, that doesn't happen, man, in like targets to reception.
That's not normal.
That's not normal, you know what I mean? Like at least throw an incomplete one, just one, you know? So I do feel like they're way too in sync right now. Give me Flagmois.
Yeah, it will be interesting though. They haven't seen a quarterback like Gentsley running around in the backfield, so it's going to be a bit of a change of pace and how fast their defense can quickly adapt. I'm going to be interested in seeing that one as well. Daniel, thank you for joining the show once again. Our star of the show here, Dan Lazara. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next week for sure.
Thanks for having me on, Iggy, and I look forward to an awesome week of FPF. See you guys next week. Have a good one.
All right. Good night, Dan. All right. Dan Lazara, thanks again for joining us here. Nightingale, just a quick update for you. I don't believe, given the time constraint that we have right now, that we're going to be able to get Brent Bodkin on the line. He's available at 8:30. It's currently 8:11. So a little, script here, kind of off the scenes preparing here. So yes, we're going to have to go another monologue segment with yours truly, Iggy Magnets, for Division 6. So just give Brent that heads up that just the schedule just didn't work out. The timing didn't work out. We had an even spread, a nice smooth flow from all of our contributors. And so Division 6, you'll have to listen to me and my thoughts about Division 6 this week. So as I was looking in Division 6, looking at the stats, we all love the stats. That's what we all what we're here for, and what we love. Of course, we love winning as well. I look at the receiver stats, and I'm always intrigued to see if there are any standouts early in the season for receiver of the year. And the one name that definitely stands out above the rest is Jonathan Bottazi. This guy, 323 yards in 3 FPF games, his first 3 FPF career games, 8 touchdowns, 22 receptions. So the guy currently with the Triple Crown, just like Guillaume Paquette Division 1, Jonathan Bottazi, your Triple Crown leader in Division 6. I wonder if he can keep up this pace. He's catching 22 balls out of 33 that were thrown his way, averaging 105 yards or so per game with about, 2.5, 3, just a little shy under 3 touchdowns a game. This guy is some serious damage. Teams that are facing off against Chamonix Chaudes are going to have to watch out for number 84, Jonathan Bottazi, as he right now is your front runner for receiver of the year. Now, there are some receivers behind him that I think can make a run for to be in contention and be right behind Jonathan Bottazi when it comes to week 13, week 14. So I'm thinking of guys like Noah Smallwood of What You Do in Step Bros. He has 5 touchdowns right now, 159 yards on 9 receptions. So the home run hitter with averaging 17 yards per reception. I think of Philippe Barros of Les Super Turbo Navette. This guy playing with Jeremy White with Easy Fun in Co-Ed 1 is getting extended reps and now playing in Division 6 where you see a large disparity between the Co-Ed 1 defenses and the Division 6 defenses. I think this guy, every single game he steps out there, has the potential to go off for 130 yards, 3 touchdowns, 5, 6, 7, 8 receptions even. Usually, Les Super Turbo Navette are more known for, good ball distribution, though it is not Guillaume Boulanger under center. They have a new quarterback with them. So how much is he going to continue using Philippe Barros? How much our defense is going to be paying attention to him, putting their best shutdown corner? Is there a shutdown corner that can stop, all these guys, Barros, Smallwood, Botazi? Definitely some of the things that we're going to be interested in looking out for in future weeks and circling back on these conversations. So those are just some 3 names for receiver of the year that you should be looking out for if you're playing in Division 6. Then, looking at the standings, we have a boatload of teams sitting at 2-1. You have Mutation, No Fly Zone, Cheat Squad. You have the Royals sitting at 2-1. What You Doing, Step Bros, and the Demons. So all these teams sitting at 2-1. And I wonder, who's most likely to rise above all the rest and be a true contender. And I'm wondering, which team is, sitting pretty right now at 2-1, but is going to fall through the cracks. Maybe not fall so far down that they're going to miss the playoffs, but maybe, that they're punching above their weight class right now. So, if you ask me, I like what Mutation has been doing. Their one loss was a forfeit loss. I believe it was actually a victory when you look at the scoreboard, and the actual number of points that they put up on the board was actually a victory. So this is a team that should be sitting at 3-0. I happen to, catch No Fly Zone. So by the way, I think Mutation is one of those teams that can rise above the rest, be a true contender. I saw No Fly Zone yesterday. Adam Wichi's gonna, struggle at the quarterback position. It's a very difficult position to play. It's really not obvious. The first time you're a quarterback, all you're seeing is people running, and it looks like, Japan's crossing the street in Japan. You just see a bunch of people running around, and you've forgotten the routes. And so that's what I saw early on from him in that game, trying to force it too deep, throwing 3-4 interceptions in his game on Wednesday night in Laval. And only later on during the game, and the final 2 drives, was he finally just checking it down. 3-yard out, 3-yard slant, sideline hooks. This is the type of game that leads to success. It's not complicated. For all Division 6 quarterbacks out there, do not complicate the plays. Let your receivers do the damage. You do not need, every second pass to be 40-yard bombs. Your job is to get the ball into your receiver's hands. If it's a hook at 1, that is not a bad play. Let them, catch the ball at 1 yard, get 3 to 4 more yards. You're looking at, you're setting yourself up for a 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6 scenario, so that if you do it again, you're now looking at 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Very, very, and much easier to succeed and convert a 3rd and 2, a 4th and 2, than a 3rd and 10, and maybe you got sacked, so maybe it's a 3rd and 15, 4th and 12 type of scenario. So definitely, if we're looking at, after now I'm kind of shifting to advice for Division 6 quarterbacks, get the ball, release the ball quickly, ignore the rusher. So I'm saying a ton of things right now. So number 1, ignore the rusher. As a Division 6 quarterback, ignore the rusher. Number 2, release the ball quickly. Get the ball in your receiver's hands. Let them do the damage. Not every pass has to be, a post downfield 30 yards, a go 40 yards. Get the ball in your receiver's hands. Let them do the damage. Keep the play calling simple. Do not think elaborate plays, run a in, out, up, and 12 out, and then 7 ins. Just try and keep your playbook simple. Don't have 40 plays. You're never going to use 40 plays in the game. stick to 5 or 6 plays, and I'm a lot of Division 6 people listening won't believe it, but yes, 5 or 6 plays. You can run the same play over and over and over again until a defense stops it. Run all hooks 3 plays in a row and wait for the defense to adjust to it. If you see that 3 guys are 12 to 15 yards downfield, just run all hooks. Keep it simple. Do not overcomplicate things. So just a few tips for Division 6 quarterbacks. So going back, circling it back to our question with the 2-1 team. So I think mutations up there. I don't quite see no fly zone there, rising above the rest to be a true contender. I think they can see improvements as they go along and as Adam Weechie gets more reps as the quarterback. But the defense, I do like very much with no fly zone, forcing about 3 or 4 turnovers themselves. Once the offense picks up, this is a, above average team that can do some damage if they continue to grow as the season goes along. I definitely think Cheat Squad I'll lump them in with mutation as a team that's likely to rise and be above the rest. That's a team that has a lot of skill, a lot of raw skill, a lot of football skill. And when you have William Gillespie, who has that dual threat to both throw it deep accurately and run, that's a dangerous team with a solid defense. I think, though, for a couple teams that are maybe punching above their weight class right now, maybe, the Royals sitting at 2-1. I did like what I saw, in games 1 and 2 of their season, having score kept, I believe, all 3 of their games so far. I liked what I saw, but I'm not convinced that against the better and upper echelon teams in Division 6 that they're going to see the same success that they had in games 1 and 2. So it's a comment that even Eric Paluziak kind of alluded to on the sidelines there. He's saying, this Cheat Squad team that we're facing, man, these guys are fast. I barely have time to release the ball. It's a different thing when you're playing, the bottom seeded teams in Division 6 versus a good Division 6 team. It's very different. So, it's better for him to have gotten that game against Cheat Squad during the regular season so that he can take home a few pointers and exactly that, right? He noticed that the rusher was on him immediately as soon as he was touching the ball. Okay, well, go through your first read and your second read quicker, right? Release that ball. Get the ball in your receiver's hands, like I was saying before. So I don't think they're a cut above. They'll be okay. And like with a lot of these teams, as they gain experience, they'll be okay. But I don't see them being a full contender just yet. And then, you know what? That's we're going to leave it at that for Division 6. I'm going to, I would have had Brent Botkin on. The timing just didn't work between his schedule and ours. But what I will do is go through the games of the week and go through my game picks for week 4 in the division. So we start off with DG Shooters playing against What You Doing Step Bros. I'll go with the Step Bros here. DG Shooters not getting their first win just yet. Give me the Step Bros. Show me them TDs against the Texas Chooches. I'm going to go show me them TDs. A lot more experience. They get the victory. Mortadels against Super Turbo Navette. I like the Turbo Navette in this one. I saw the Mortadels across the street, so to speak, across fields. That's a new team. Raw will get better as they go along, but Turbo Navette definitely have the advantage there. Give me them. You got Shamedy Shodes playing Cheat Squad. This one should be a good, a CC playing CS. I'll take CS, the Cheat Squad, on this one. You got the McGill swim team playing Nard Dogs. I will go with the McGill swim team swimming their way to victory here in week 4. You got the Royals playing against Free Agent Squad. I really like what I've seen out of Free Agent Squad. Give me the FAS coming victorious over Royals. You got Cavaliers Rohan against Flag Dealers. That's an interesting one. Going to be a tight contest. I'm going to go Flag Dealers with this one. In a one possession victory for FD. You got All Ball playing Le Flag Daddies. Flag Daddies making perhaps a quarterback switch. They made a quarterback switch mid-game. Are they going to be making a quarterback switch for the rest of the season? I'm not sure, but I will take Flag Daddies in this one. You got Queens playing against the Demons. I like what I've seen out of the Demons out of the gate so far this season. They have a full year of more experience, maybe even 2 years over Queens. Give me the experience of the Demons in this one. You got Skull against Salts and Apepa. Should be a very fascinating game, this one. Give me Skull to come out victorious over the Salts and Apepa. You got Meat Fiddlers playing against Mutation. Pink versus Red. I'll go Red on this one for Mutation. Let's go. We got No Fly Zone against Pigeons. I'm going to go with Pigeons on this one. I did like what I saw out of the defense from No Fly Zone. Give me Pigeons. I'll even give you a score. I'll give you 20-18 for the Pigeons. Texas Whales face off against the Winded Warriors. Give me the Whales in this one. And then wrapping up Division 6 for week 4, you got Towers FT against Le Speak Easy. I'm going to go with the Speakeasy on this one. It's a methodical offense, just enough defense to get the victories. So give me Speakeasy. I'll go with the score prediction as well. I'll go 21-18 as well. So 21-18 Speakeasy over Towers FT. All right, that does it for your content for week 3, episode 2, Calling the Audible. I'm Iggy Magnets. I want to thank our contributors and our guests this week. We had Zach Alberts-Gill talking Co-Ed 3. Thank you to Lori Willette. Thanks to Raf Morelli. Tried getting on with us. Had some audio technical difficulties there. But I do want to thank Raf Morelli for his attempt. We then had Dan Lazara, of course, the always energetic, high-octane analysis from Dan Lazara for Division 1. And again, just because our timing didn't work out, I do want to thank Brent Botkin for being available. Do look out for Brent Botkin's next article coming out in the coming days. So your content for all things FPF, and like Lori alluded to, it's coming left, right, and center with articles, Calling the Audible here, and the Instagram content. So definitely check us out there. That's it for this week. Tune in next week show with Mo Khan and I doing a double here, a Tuesday show with both of us together. As I mentioned during one of the segments here, I'll be heading out to Florida, living out the Palm Trees dream, playing NFL flag tournament there. So Mo, Khan, Iggy Magnets back together for the remote show. I want to thank everyone for watching, listening, subscribing, and we'll see you on the field in week number 4.